We humble ourselves and turn from our wicked ways. Father, in your mercy, forgive our sin. Father, in your mercy, come heal our land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land. Hear our cry and turn our nation back to you. Lord, heal our land. Hear us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land. Hear our cry and turn our nation back to you. Lord, heal our land. Hear us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken land. Hear our cry and heal our broken
Thank you. Let's hear it again for Mass Appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the man of the hour. Don't stand up yet. I'm not done. The advocate, the rabble rouser, the preacher, the event specialist, father, brother, good pal, and now author, Enteng Romano.
Thank you, Leah. And good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, Ma'am Leni. Thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence. Maraming salamat po from the heart. And good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for being part of this important milestone in my life. Alam ko marami sa inyo rito or ilan sa inyo nagpunta dahil mga kaibigan ko talaga. Pero alam ko rin mas maraming pumunta sa inyo rito dahil sa ating guest of honor. Aminin. At malamang kaya kayo nagpunta, magpapa-selfie lang kayo mamaya, di ba? Pero gusto ko lang kayo i-remind na ako po si Enteng Romano. Ako po yung author ng book. At pwede rin po kayo magpa-selfie sa akin. But you know, I'd also like to thank you, Mas Apila, because that song, Heal Our Land, is really very special for me. Dahil yan yung anthem song nung Prayer for the Nation movement that I started in 2008, no? During the time of GMA, kasi masyadong marami tayong problema na sa nation. And the format then was very simple eh. So yung church namin organized a weekly prayer meeting. We would meet, tapos merong worship songs, and then I'll do a devotional, meaning I'll study scripture, relate it to current national issues. Tapos we break out into groups and we pray for the country, yung mga specific issues. And what I would do, I would upload it to the website that we set up. And different groups would actually download the program, all of the elements of the prayer meeting, and replicate it. There was even a group in Saudi Arabia who actually did that, no? Siyempre, nung nanalo si Pinoy, we stopped kasi medyo gumanda na yung lagay ng ating bayan, ano? Pero in September of 2020, so ni-restart ko yung Heal Our Land prayer movement. And this time using new platforms. So meron ng YouTube, uso yung live streaming. So instead of gathering, I just pre-recorded the whole thing, no? So what I would do every Friday or Saturday, the whole day I would prepare, I would study scriptures, and then I would prepare the script. Sunday afternoon, I would record it, edit, and pagkatapos we air it Monday, 8 p.m. Pag in-air namin yon, it was a pre-recorded live stream. Siguro sa YouTube, merong 4 nanonood. Sa Facebook, 6. So, but it was a prayer ministry, so okay lang, di ba? So, medyo discouraging, but ganun talaga eh. But by the end of the week, umaabot naman siya ng mga 180, 200. So, may mga nanonood pa rin. But you know what? After a year and about 50 episodes, mga 500 subscribers pa lang yung dun sa channel ko. No? It was a lot of hard work. No? And technically, I was already a vlogger at that time, no? Kasi I was doing vlogging. No? Pero it was not until I started producing yung mga videos, debunking yung mga Marcos false narratives, that my channel really grew exponentially. And doon inabot ko yung threshold ng YouTube na you need kasi 1,000 subscribers at saka 4,000 watch hours before you become an accredited YouTube creator. And you also get monetized now. Sabihin, they can insert advertisements sa video mo and then you get paid. No? Sa dami ng pinroduce kong videos, kumita ako ng $100 sa YouTube. That's it. That's about $100 lang pagkatapos ng sobrang daming trabaho. Anyway, all of these things I actually included in the book. So yung story niyan, if you want to learn about it, it's all in the book. But marami din nagtatanong sa akin, why did you decide to write? Ano bang laman yan? How did you go about publishing and all that? So siguro rather than me telling you all of these details, I'd like to invite you to watch yung short interview, my short interview with Rico Hizon sa show niya. And it already explains some of the things that people commonly ask about the book. Okay. Please, roll video.
Staying with books, this Filipino is proving that online fame can also come in your golden years. It is book From the Heart, How I Became a Social Media Influencer at Age 65. Vicente Romano III explores family, politics, and more. We speak to the author right here on The Final Word. Sir Enteng, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Rico.
So what made you decide to publish this book? You know, I came to realize that it's never too late. That even in my 60s, I can be a social media influencer.
Actually, that's the message. No? But I think if you get to my age, you start thinking of legacy, how you want to be remembered. So a lot of people my age would like to write a book, mostly autobiographies. Kaya lang, the way they write it, mostly family lang and friends can appreciate it. Ako, when I wrote this book, sabi ko, I'd like it to be interesting to a lot of people beyond my family and friends. Kaya I thought of social media because everyone is in social media.
Well, the last elections was heavily influenced by social media.
Yes.
And that also plays a big part in your book,
Yes,
Politics.
Yep, I devoted the first 7 chapters into that. No? Yung how social media played a very important role in the results of that election.
And you also talked, Sir Enteng, about the 2022 campaign of Vice President Leni Robredo. What was your role in the campaign?
I was officially part of the campaign team. Doon ako sa what they call the pull-down group. Because if you remember, when the election started, the rating of Bongbong Marcos back then was in the high 50s. No? So even if you raise the numbers of Leni, if you don't bring down Bongbong, then she's not going to win. But mind you, it's not a black ops unit. No? So I was part of the communications team of the pull-down group, and what we did was we just magnified the atrocities of the martial law regime, the excesses of the Marcoses during that time. And we had a team of very young script writers, video editors, graphics artists. We put out memes and videos.
So post-mortem, what made you realize about this campaign and how influential and how important was social media?
Well, you know, the kind of disinformation, the historical revisionism that happened, that was all social media, and they've been doing that for a decade. No? Tapos we were not able to counter that effectively in the, you know, we only had about 6 to 8 months to do it. So it got traction. People started believing all of these stories, no? All of these narratives that were out there.
And how many chapters are there in this book, Sir Enteng?
There are 17 chapters in the book.
Okay. And what would you say are the most compelling chapters, the most important chapters for you?
I think the chapters 1 to 7 tells the story of the election, plus how I evolved into an influencer. So, nandun yung story. No? But if you ask what my favorite is, I would say that would be chapter 13 when I talked about the 3 weddings of my daughters.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, because coming from a family of pastors, and I'm an elder pastor myself, I would normally design the wedding so that I give the message to the couple.
And what about chapters 14 to 17?
14 talks about my sons-in-law and my grandsons. And then I think 16, I talked about my wife. So yun, mahalaga rin yun.
Absolutely. Happy wife, happy life.
Correct. And by the way, she was the one who edited the book. So
Okay. And how long did it take you to put all these 17 chapters together, write it, edit it, and publish it?
about 2.5 months.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
And Sir Enteng, I was expecting you to give me a copy of the book, no? Written with dedication, Dear Rico, enjoy the book from Sir Enteng Romano. But it looks like we don't have these physical books anymore. They're sold online.
Yes. Right now it's available as ebooks.
Ebooks, yes.
From Google Play Store and Amazon. But in Amazon, there's also now a paperback edition available.
Okay. Because right now we have the book fair, right? That's happening in Manila. And thousands of people are bookworms wanting to still hold physical book. Is there a plan to sell the book maybe in one of or several of our top bookstores here in the Philippines?
You know, that's what I realized, Rico. When I started this, talagang the intention was just sell it ebooks.
And I'm sure there are more calls right now. Hey, we want the book. We want a hard copy,
Exactly.
hardbound, and we want a softbound.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are not really used to reading ebooks. They still prefer holding the book physically and, looking at the pages. And a lot of my friends are asking for the hard copy because they want also an autographed copy.
But of course, when you write, when you publish, when you promote, I mean, there's also a lot of challenges, right? In promote. Tell us about the nitty-gritty about going through the process from starting to write it all the way to promoting the book, and of course, selling it on major online platforms.
Yeah, the good news is today it's a lot easier to self-publish. You don't really need a publisher. So I researched about it. And initially, I just wanted to sell the ebook sa Google Play Store. Because there are three main platforms. That's Google, there's Amazon, and there's Apple Bookstore, right? But Apple does not sell. They only give away books in the Philippines. Google is the most convenient because in terms of being able to collect your royalties, the commercial aspect of it. Just open an account here and then they will remit it to you. But Amazon requires you to open a US dollar account.
Wow.
Before you can receive your payment. So that was the last step that I
And
did.
Sir Enteng, no, this is your first book.
Yes.
At the age of 65.
Exactly.
Do you plan to write more? And what would be your advice to aspiring authors out there? Maybe like myself, I'm 56 years old. I still haven't written a book. Who would want to get started?
Well, I've been wanting to write a book like 5-6 years before. But this time what I did was I started with existing materials because the hardest part is to start writing and then not being disrupted. So I used all of my postings in Facebook as the bulk of my materials, and then I weaved it into a story. It's like just annotating it. So that took care of the content part. The other thing that normally will stop you from publishing is the sense of urgency. So you keep postponing it. So this time what I did was I made sure the story is about the elections.
Okay.
So if I don't release it early enough, the story will be stale.
So that you put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so to be a social media influencer, you have to be on all the social media platforms. You're on Facebook, Sir
Yes,
Enteng.
yeah.
Are you on Twitter?
Yes.
Are you on Insta?
Yes.
I'm sure you're not on TikTok.
I am.
Well,
That was the last platform that I got into.
Sir Enteng, thank you so much for joining
Thank you for having
us here on The Final Word and sharing with us your first book ever.
Yes. Yeah.
From the Heart, How I Became a Social Media Influencer at age 65. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Hello. Yes, I'm on TikTok. But I'm still trying to get the courage na sumayaw kamukha nung kay Harry Roque. So, nagpasukat na ako ng wig. But publishing, let me just add a little about what I shared dun sa interview. No? Publishing a book is really like any other commercial venture. Meron ding financial considerations. Siguro ang pinaka-importanting consideration doon is yung how much are you willing to spend for printing the books. Diba? Kasi yun yung pinakamalaking cost doon eh. And ang hirap tansyahin nun because being the first book, ilang kayang kopya yung mabibili. So, you count your friends, your family. Kaya lang, family is not even reliable. Even in my own family, siguro, because they know me so well, parang they probably feel na ano pa ba naman ang maisusulat mo na hindi namin alam. Right? Kaya minsan, gusto ko nang alisan ng pamana itong mga to eh. But, yun yung first things that came into my mind. And as I researched, na-realize ko, today, it's a lot easier because you can actually self-publish. Tapos yung option na e-books. And that's what I took. Sabi ko, e-books na lang. Kasi all you need to do is write the book and then upload it, sell it. So if it doesn't sell, that's fine. Right? Walang cost on your part. So, ang ginawa ko, I immediately bought an authoring tool, and it will allow you with one platform to write your book, and then it will format it in all of the different e-book formats. So that takes care of putting it together. No? And then I researched, saan ko ba ipapublish ito? Sa Google, sa Amazon. Amazon yung pinaka-popular eh. No? And then Apple Bookstore. Apple Bookstore doesn't sell it, so out na siya. So ginawa ko, nag-survey ako ron sa mga different chat groups ko, no, sa mga kabatch ko sa high school, andito nga yung ibang classmates ko ngayon, and yun sa frat chat group din namin. How many of you have bought an e-book from Amazon at saka from Google Playbook? And how many of you have actually not bought any e-book at all? Kalabas-labasan, more than 80% have actually not tried buying an e-book. So either they prefer the hard copy or they don't read books at all. Diba? So anyway, so sabi ko, sige, medyo challenge yun. Alam mo naman yung mga Pilipino, pagka yung they've never tried it before, parang may takot to even try, di ba? So, nag-research pa ako, Google maganda. Kasi in terms of getting your royalties, you just set up a local Philippine account and then they can immediately remit to you your royalties, no? Yung sa Amazon, mas complicated. Kasi you need to open an account in the US. It's okay lang sana kung dollar account in the Philippines, madali, no? But it's in the US. So anyway, I decided, okay, I'll go Google. So yung nag-Google na ako, ang daming hirap na hirap to actually purchase from Google, no? I don't know, it's not too user-friendly. Si JJ nga, nakolektahan siya ng bayad, hindi niya mahanap kung saan dinownload ng Google. Hanggang ngayon, hindi niya pa nababasa. Because of that. And to think, IT pa ang business niya. So ganun siya. So I decided, okay, I'll try to open a US account para lang I can do Amazon. And nag-research na naman ako. I was able to open a US bank dollar account from here. So okay siya, lumusot. So when I was doing that, sabi ko, available na sa Google and Amazon. So okay, people started buying. Then maraming humihingi naman ng hardbound, no? So buti na lang yung Amazon, meron siyang option. You can actually submit your file in PDF, design a cover, and they will print your book on demand. So as you order, they put it together and ship it. Again, at no cost to me. Sabi ko, okay din to. No, I can sell paperback at no cost. So yung mga gustong paperback, they can do that. So, kaya lang ang mahal. So ginawa ko, I ordered my author's copies. I ordered just 40 initially. And nung sinip dito, yung 40 copies, at cost pa yun at their printing cost, wala pa yung published cost dun sa website nila. Lumalabas, ang landed cost was about 1,250 per book, which is very expensive. So sabi ko, hindi pwede yan. Ang gagawin ko na lang, I will look for a local printer and print copies locally. So that's where I am now. I'm in the process of looking for a local printer. Actually, may nakita na ako, and it will start printing siguro yung first batch by October 11. And that is where my problem is right now. So marami sa inyo pumunta dito, umaasa makakabili ng libro, di ba? I have about 30 copies left. So ang gagawin natin, there are book order forms out there, doon sa mga cocktail tables. Just fill it up, tapos ipaparaffle na lang natin yung pwedeng umorder today. The rest, we will serve by October 11. Okay lang ba yun? Sorry about that. But that's where we are now. So ayan, magdi-distribute na sila ng mga order forms. So if you're interested. Anyway, like yung kinwento ko rin sa interview, content, starting it is easy. The difficult part is finishing it. Siguro 7 years ago, I actually started writing a book on project management because I lecture about project management. So sabi ko, dapat madali ito, I have the content already. No? I did the outline, about 20 chapters. I actually wrote 5 chapters already. Kaya lang hirap because you're distracted. There are so many other things going on. So in the end, I stopped. More recently, mga a year and a half ago, I started writing or thinking about writing a book. Ang title was Unconventional Wisdom. philosophies that will help you or that will lead to a less stressful life. Ganda ng title, no? So, yung mga naisip ng mga matatanda, ganyan talaga eh. And the first chapter was about, the first philosophy was, why do today what you can do tomorrow? Di ba ang ganda, no? Kaya ayun, ina-apply ko yung philosophy sa sarili ko. I never got started. Pero dito, I decided to put pressure on myself. Sabi ko, I will talk about the election. And pag hindi ko ito natapos, it's going to be stale. So, napilitan akong isulat siya ng mabilis, and finally, yun, nabuo siya. So, in the book, in the first 7 chapters, I talked about the social media impact, social media's impact on the election. And because I was part of the campaign, officially part of the campaign, I was able to share an insider's view of the campaign, which is not normally known by even some of the volunteers. Yeah? So yung isang kaibigan ko nga who read the book, like many of us after the results of the election, he was really depressed. No? But after reading the first 7 chapters of the book, sabi niya, now I feel a little better because now I understand why some of the things happened the way they did. So yun yung, sana when you buy the book, yun yung part na I hope most of us here are Pinklawans anyway. I hope you can relate to the stories that I narrated there. No? Pero dun sa buong campaign, yung role ko ron, ano lang ako ron eh, in the totem pole, nandun lang ako sa medyo ilalim eh. So ang talagang mas involved doon, at andyan na siya, malapit ko nang tawagin, ang talagang mas involved doon, na ayaw magpatawag ngayon. And kasama ko dun sa comms group well, I was part of the pull down team. No? Pero kasama ko rin to sa marami pang ibang adventure. Kasama ko rin to na ngayon ay kasalukuyang may kaso pa na conspiracy to commit sedition. So, dahil si Yoli sana, kaya lang wala siyang boses ngayon because of may heavy cough. So, I'd like to call si Boom, na kasama rin namin. Boom Enriquez, to share a little bit more about social media and during the campaign. Palakpakan naman natin na mas masagana dyan.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sir Enteng. Good afternoon, everyone. Opo, nabudol ako ni Sir Enteng ngayon to just share some thoughts during the campaign. No? Sige po. Yeah. The ethos of the Leni Robredo leadership has been people empowerment and participatory governance. No? And this was experienced during her term as Vice President. And she worked with a lot of individuals here and all over the country and groups during her time as VP. No? So during the campaign, the ethos became our battle cry. Yung campaign was what we call the People's Campaign. Hundreds of volunteers, if not thousands, gave their time and resources to a cause yung larger than themselves. No? A more responsive kind of leadership and empathy as the currency and culture. No? For my part, I worked with hundreds of artists, film workers, writers, advertising experts, marketing consultants, and social media influencers. No? So many creative work have been produced during the campaign. No? Songs, ads, artworks, memes, reels, and social media videos, just like Sir Enteng's. No? Almost all volunteer effort. No? We've had 2 battles to win, the presidential campaign and the fight against disinformation. Both of them had to be won to protect the soul of our nation. Ika nga ng kandidato natin, this was the fight of our lives. No? Sir Enteng as a social media influencer helped in articulating these complex political messages into chewable social media posts and videos, no? Scenarios that aren't readable for non-political people, policies that are on the surface should be okay, but the effects would be worse for the long term, and a future that was hopefully better for everyone. He helped in pushing the campaign message of hope and energy to his target audiences. Hindi lang naman senior audiences ang kanyang audience. Kasi nag-trending naman po talaga. No? Siyempre, when he started, we were skeptical, di ba? But when his posts started going viral via Viber groups, via the other platforms, we further pushed messages, no, to his platforms. Though the results, of course, did not turn out in our favor, I think Sir Enteng will back me up on this. No? Parang I can speak up for everyone who joined us that this was one of the hardest political battles in the recent decades that been greatly involved, no? As one of the most meaningful things that we've both done on a personal and community level. No? One of our learnings is that so many of the traditional rules of political campaigns are being rewritten. The concept of influence and the imagery of the people who hold them has drastically changed. Age, gender, socioeconomic background, volume, no? All of these pale in comparison to the gift of storytelling. Our people's consciousness are captured by those they find authentic, accessible, and relatable. And Filipinos are captivated by these stories and seeing the results on May 9 by myths as well. Sir Enteng communicated truth to audiences, both young and his same age bracket. Joke lang, sir. He also experienced some of the worst things in the political climate, no? Trolling and harassment. Influence is deeply tied to stories, and stories come from memories. It is remembering that gives power to truth. Our task is to continue marching on, never forgetting the powerful emotions of hope and goodness that overflowed during our campaign. That is the truth we will speak of to our children, to Sir Enteng's grandchildren, and to every Filipino who loves our country as much as we do. This is the influence that is permanent and present in our collective battle scars and in our burning desire to build a country rooted in an honest government that uplifts the lives of our countrymen. Sir Enteng's experience, his stories in his book, and on his social media accounts, all of these are contributions to the bigger battle back in the campaign and now. No? Thank you, sir, for this gift to every one of us still licking our wounds while soldiering on. And when the time comes for us again, we hope that we will still have your platform and more Entengs, no, and Enteng Juniors will have bloomed by then to communicate truth and better leadership for our people. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Wow, boom. Maraming salamat. You speak as good as you write. Tama ba, ma'am? Palakpakan ulit natin si Boom naman. Now, most of us here have been involved in the campaign. Let me correct that. Have been involved passionately in the campaign. Tama ba? All right. Looking back, what was your key takeaway from that campaign? Ano ba yung talagang hindi nyo makalimutan tuwing nagigising kayo sa umaga? Yun yung naaalala nyo pa about the campaign. I think most of you will agree na yung isang very difficult to accept was yung disconnect between what was happening in our rallies and the survey results. Tama ba? Grabe, di ba? Ang layo ng diferensya. No? And sometimes, a lot of us actually began questioning yung surveys. No? But the truth is, in the end, tama yung surveys eh. Yun talaga yung pinapaniwalaan ng mga tao. they were very successful in refurbishing the Marcos image, the Marcos name. Alam niyo yung Taliano Gold? First time I even heard about it was in October. No? Kasi nagre-research na ako eh. By that time, I decided to really debunk yung some of those misinformation. And I can't believe people would actually believe it. Kasi the story is so fantastic. In one version, pati nga si Rizal, hindi raw namatay noong 1896. And he was part of the conspiracy where he returned the gold from Vatican and gave it to Marcos. Can you imagine that? And people believe it. By the time I got into YouTube about this, siguro more than 3 million views na yun. No? Tapos pag binasa mo yung mga comments, they're not trolls. They are true believers. That's how extensive the misinformation has become. But that's only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is they were also successful in demonizing the Aquino name and the Dilawans. So, mga kausap ko, mga intelihente naman tao, mga kaibigan ko na matagal, parang sinasabi nila na anybody but Leni, yun yung attitude. Sabi ko, bakit? Hindi, kasi kasama sa Dilawan yan eh. Sabi ko, ha? Oo, didiktahan lang yan ng mga Dilawan. Sinong magdidikta? Sa LP. Sabi ko, alam mo ba kung ilan ang miyembro ng LP? Di ba? At that time, talagang wala na. And yet, they believe that. So, talagang malaking trabaho yung kailangan natin gawin to correct that misinformation. It's a lot of work. But my other takeaway is this, no? And I hope sana some of you can relate to this. My other takeaway is this. The transformation of VP Leni from presidential candidate to a rock star. Di ba? O, yung mga naniniwala, pumalakpak naman kayo na malakas dyan. Why? Every rally was like a rock concert. Tama? In fact, the whole campaign was like a concert tour. And she inspired people to a new kind of politics. Yun yung maganda. Yung kanyang radical love. To love even the unlovable. And that is why I am so really happy and honored that you were able to make it, ma'am. Alam niyo, ang hirap imbitahin ni ma'am ngayon kasi mas busy pa siya ngayon kaysa nung vice president siya. Yung invitations for speaking engagement at saka appearances. Sobrang dami. And I was getting worried. Sabi ko, naku, malapit na yata pumunta sa Harvard. Mukhang hindi na mai-schedule to. So I'm truly very honored and privileged that you have made it to this event now. And so, may I ask everyone now to please give our guest of honor a warm welcome. Ma'am Leni Robredo.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Maupo po tayong lahat. Sabi nila mag-move on na tayo. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon po. It is so good to see everyone again. It is so good to be amongst kindred spirits. Tama po yung sabi ni Enteng na akala ko magsusulat na ako ng libro pagkatapos ng eleksyon. Pero kahit yung libro ni Enteng na matagal ko nang na-download, hindi ko pa din nababasa. Gusto ko mag-back out sa message giving ngayon. Kasi sabi ko, I feel so undeserving na magmemensahe ako tungkol sa isang libro na hindi ko pa nababasa. Pasensya na, Enteng. Yung paalis na po ako in a few days. Paalis na ako in a few days and nakaabang na yung mga babasahin ko sa aking iPad. Sa eroplano, paalis. Pero siguro, medyo excited akong basahin. Kasi nagawa ni Enteng yung marami kong dreams for myself. After the elections last May, yun nga yung plano ko, gagawa ako ng libro. Yung pinakauna kong gustong gawin is to come up with a coffee table book about the campaign that happened. Para merong physical na ebidensya, yung lahat na naging part of the campaign. And na-draft na namin. Pero ganun po ako magtrabaho, pinapakialaman ko lahat. So hindi yun lalabas na hindi ko nakalikot yung lahat. Dahil busy-busy ako, hindi pa din siya lumalabas. Yung isa kong plano, kasi akala ko wala na akong gagawin after the elections. After the results of the elections, sabi ko gagawa ako ng libro about the 6 years that I was Vice President. Tingin ko siya worthing gawa ng kwento kasi marami kayong hindi alam. Pero again, hindi ko alam kung kailan ako makakahanap ng panahon. And yung pagiging busy, palagay ko, hindi siya blessing in the sense na marami pa akong ginagawa. But I think it is a testament to how successful the campaign was, despite the results. Kahit hindi natin na-achieve yung results na gusto nating ma-achieve, I really would like to believe that you were able to accomplish so many things that we never thought we would accomplish when the campaign was just starting. Alam naman ng mga malapit sa akin kung gaano ako ka-resistant dun sa idea na katatakbo ako for president. Pero nung nangyari yon, naalala ko yung kinausap ko yung mga anak ko. Kasi yung mga anak ko, akala nila ang pinagdidesisyonan ko lang kung kakandidato ako for governor o hindi na ako kakandidato at all. Nung sinabi ko sa kanila na kakandidato ako ng pagka-presidente, ang sinabi ko sa kanila, itatawid lang natin to. Obligasyon lang, itatawid lang natin. Kasi when you look at my numbers in October of last year, parang sobrang, hindi mo mai-imagine na makaka 100,000 tayo o 200,000 o 500,000 o almost 1 million people in our rallies. Pero it happened. And yung sinabi ni Enteng na he was part of a group, hindi ko yun alam, Enteng. So ngayon ko lang nalaman na you were part of such group. Marami ako nadidiskubre ng mga iba-ibang grupo during the campaign na ngayon ko lang nalaman. Kasi during the campaign, I was so focused on being in so many places at the same time dahil alam ko na naghahabol ako. Pero the campaign was one for the books. That was my 9th campaign. I campaigned for my husband 6 times. That was that was the 3rd campaign that I was the candidate. That was also the first loss for us, but it was the happiest. It was the most fun campaign of all. Hindi ko alam kung pareho sa inyo, pero it was the first time na nakita ko how people were just so invested in the campaign. Naging invested din ako sa ibang mga kampanya, pero parang yung pagka-invested ko para tulungan lang yung kandidato. Pero yung pagka-invested ng tao ngayon, para sa bayan talaga. Yung generosity, yung passion, yung energy ng lahat, I think, unparalleled. That was the reason why na-inspire kami to come up with a museum. To those of you who have not visited yet, iniimbita po namin kayo to visit. Because it is a testament to all the contributions made by everyone, the physical contributions made by everyone during the campaign. Na pag tinitingnan ko siya ngayon, nakita ko na siya nung binigay sa akin, pero pag tinitingnan ko ngayon, I feel so overwhelmed by how unselfless so many people were during the campaign. Gaya ng sabi ko, marami ako nadidiskubre ngayon na hindi ko alam dati. And yung pagiging busy ko ngayon, Hindi lang sa speaking engagements, although I'm getting a lot of them. Pero hindi lang sa speaking engagements, pero all my free time. Hindi kami namimili, lahat na nakikiusap na magkaroon ng courtesy visits, first come, first serve. Pinagbibigyan. And yung mga bisita namin sa opisina, talagang wide range of many different groups of people. Kahapon lang, may mga accountants and auditors akong bisita. May mga opisyal ng isang university. Merong mga bata. Merong mga bata na, siyempre, hindi pa bumoboto. Pero sobrang pagpasok pa lang sa opisinang nakita ako, nakanganga na lahat. Ito without fail. Even when I was still vice president, the last month that I was vice president, that was after the elections already, we're getting a lot of visitors na may mga kids, mga 5, 7-year-olds. Without fail. Lahat ang pagpasok nila sa opisina pag nakita ako, ang first question nila, "Where's Kiko Pangilinan?" Gusto sabihin parang, di ba, they were also so involved in the campaign. They were so involved in the campaign na ang pagtingin nila sa amin ni Kiko talaga magkasama. Tapos ako kahit may lyrics na binabasa, hindi ko nakakanta yung Rosas. Kasi nahihirapan ako sa dami ng words. Pero yung mga bata, memorized nila. Pero kaya ko siya kinakwento kasi bihira itong mangyari. Bihirang mangyari na everyone from the very young to the very old are just so invested. Naalala niyo naman siguro during the Makati meeting de Avance, merong may sakit na nasa hospital bed na dinala sa rally just to participate, and she died a few weeks after that. Talagang ano siya, ibang klase. And because ibang klase siya, it is something that we have to build on. Yung paalala sa tao na hindi natapos yung laban with the elections. Na yung yung problema natin against this with the rise in fake news and disinformation, napakalaking laban. Na I think overarching siya of all the fights na we're faced with, na dapat pagtulungan natin siya. Almost all the invitations that I'm getting now, including the Harvard Fellowship, ang interesado sila how disinformation has been threatening democracies around the world, especially here in the Philippines. Kinikwento ko kay Enteng kanina kay Ma'am Tati na hindi lang Harvard yung interesado. I've been getting a lot of invitations. Merong Switzerland, merong Jakarta. Ang iba nga hinihindian na kasi nagpapatong-patong. Merong Singapore, merong Oslo, lahat interesado sila. How disinformation has trampled with our elections and continues to threaten our democratic spaces. So sa akin, with Enteng, not just being a social media influencer, malaking bagay yung paglabas ng libro. Kasi parang even if I have not read it yet, pero it will open our eyes to many realities we are not aware of. Hindi ko alam kung naaalala ni Enteng the first time we met. The first time we met sa email, nag-email ako sa kanya, I think 2001, hindi ko alam kung maalala niya. Nabasa ko somewhere na nag-start siya ng volunteer group for Winnie Monsod for senator. I was still in Naga. I was still a lawyer for Saligan. My husband was still mayor of Naga. Nag-email ako kay Enteng. Nagvo-volunteer ako, and he has been sending me emails since then. Pero alam ko, hindi niya yung naalala. Niremind ko na siya several times about it. Pero kaya ko lang siya sinasabi, kaya lang siya relevant ngayon. Kasi hindi pa siya 65 nun eh. Ngayon 65 na siya. That was many years ago. Pero from the time I first heard of him, and from the time I first knew of him, until now, talagang laban sa bayan yung inaasikaso. And we can only thank him for all the sacrifices he has made. We can only thank him for being very innovative, sumasabay sa panahon. Nagti-TikTok na. Ngayon ko lang nalaman, Enteng, na caring-carry mo pala mag-pink pants. Nakita ko yung iba mong pictures doon. Talagang, di ba, not many people can pull that off. Pero sa ngalan ng laban sa bayan, para sa bayan ay ginagawa mo. Thank you for the videos that you produced during the campaign. I've seen some of them. And we need more of you na maglalakas ng loob na labanan yung kasinungalingan. Maraming kailangan pag-usapan na siguro hindi pwedeng very public dahil very complex yung problema. Pero siguro yung pakiusap ko lang na let us consider this our fight. Wala na tayong kandidatong pinapakipaglaban, talagang bayan na yung ipapakipaglaban natin. Pero sana kasama pa din namin kayo. Dahil hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan. We have committed a lot of mistakes as far as fighting fake news is concerned. Siguro napansin, ako by nature, chill akong tao. I don't easily get ruffled. Lugi nga sa akin yung trolls eh. Lugi sa akin yung trolls kasi hindi ko sila pinapansin. Pero yun din yung aking pitfall. Dahil hindi ako napipikon, hindi ko sila pinapansin. Hindi kami nakapag-action ng maayos. When all the fake news was being thrown at me, ang initial kong stance was do not dignify. Hayaan mo sila. Mapapagod sila. Pero mali pala yun. Mali pala yun kasi syempre yung kasinungalingan repeated over and over again, nagiging totoo. And that is what happened sa atin lahat. Not just as far as I was concerned, pero with a lot of the incorrect stories that were being thrown around. So ngayon, maghahabol tayo. Maghahabol tayo pero hindi tayo pwede magpabaya. I've been getting a lot of visitors sa office. Siguro mga half of them pag dumadating umiiyak. Pinapagalitan ko yung umiiyak. Sinasabi ko, bawal dito yung umiiyak. Kasi ngayon, happy na tayo pero kailangan tayong lumaban. So sa akin siguro si Enteng yung inspirasyon natin. Na hindi niya hinayaan yung failures natin during the election, naghanap kaagad ng papatunguhan ng kanyang energies. So I hope we all get inspired. I hope we all get inspired by the example shown to us by Enteng. There are so many inspiring stories that I've come across with during the campaign. Yung kinukwento ko kaninang all kinds of people. Kahapon may bisita ako na 68 years old. Nag-email siya sa akin, pinapunta ko sa office, nag-create siya ng board game. Nag-create siya ng board game. Nakasali ako sa kayong asawa ko. Actually, I enjoyed. We played. Nag-play kami ng board game. Para siyang snakes and ladders na may mga question and answer. Pero yung nag-sink in lang sa akin after. Kasi nagma-magic siya kahapon eh. Nag-sink in lang sa akin after na grabe talaga how people, di ba, from all walks of life, contributed so much of themselves to the campaign. Yung hindi mo matatawaran yung contribution ng marami. Those of you who have been going to the rallies, siguro you have experienced people giving food to everyone. Pero ang very touching doon, kasi hindi lang yung mga mayayaman yung nag-share. Pero I have heard a lot of stories of yung mga mayayaman, nabibilhin nila yung tinda ng mga ice cream vendor, yung mga taho vendor, yung mga fishball vendor, pero hindi tatanggapin yung bayad nila. Kasi sasabihin ng mga vendor, hindi, eto din yung aking contribution to the rallies. Di ba? So, sa akin yung People's Campaign was really, I hope we don't look at it as the end of the fight, but the beginning of a better fight na we have to work on. I hope na yung passion, yung vigor, yung inspiration na pinakita natin during the campaign, tuloy-tuloy pa din. I would like to reiterate my invitation to everyone na magbisita sa museum. Medyo warning lang po, medyo mahirap kumuha ng slots ngayon. Kasi our space is not too big. So, nililimit namin sa 50 an hour. Kaya lang because the booking is online, ano siya, talagang the slots hindi naman sold kasi wala namang entrance fee. Pero nauubos ka agad. But if any one of you is interested, siguro Enteng can organize and we can do a special viewing for all of you. Pero I really want to thank all of you. Si Enteng, thank you. A lot of the people here have been so involved in the campaign. Kanina, sina Olive, sina Pinky, your group, sobrang daming tinulong during the campaign. Sina Jim and Buboy. Sinugal yung karera. Sinugal yung karera. All the artists, pag pumunta po kayo sa museum, makikita nyo all the songs that have been composed. Marami tayong videos doon na pine-play yung mga songs. Yung mga artists na may mga paintings are part of the museum. Siguro nakikita nyo na yung pinaka-Instagrammable doon, yung mga trabaho ni Toym Imaw and Robert Alejandro, but there are a lot more artists whose works are there. We received, after the end of the campaign, we received almost 1,000 paintings. Lahat lang mukha ko. Kaya na-imagine nyo kung gaano ka, sukang-suka na siguro yung mga staff namin na everywhere they look, mukha ko. Pero di ba, yung people are just so inspired. Nakikita nyo. So I would like you to visit the museum just to relive all the emotions that went through all of us during the fight. And I hope we still feel those emotions as we go along. So maraming salamat po. Congratulations, Enteng.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Leni Robredo. Yes, now I remembered your email because every time we meet, you keep reminding me about it. We'd like to present a token of appreciation. And I'd like to call my wife, Marisa, to present. Hindi, asan na yung token? Ayun. Yes, ma'am. Siyempre, merong, aside from the flowers, merong book. At hindi lang book, ma'am. Dahil ano kayo, vlogger na rin kayo ngayon, may binigay kami na ikakabit nyo sa iPhone nyo, magiging wireless mic siya ngayon. Para pag nagbablog kayo, hindi na kayo, i-clear niya. Okay, we're nearing the close of the program and then we will have snacks served. But let me just explain what's going to happen kasi medyo yung proseso masalimuot ng konti. So, after my closing message, we will have two or three songs, no? Two songs. We will have two songs to close the formal part of the program from Mass Appeal and a special guest, no? Tapos, we will have photo ops with Leni. Leni and me. Kasama rin ako. Pambira naman kayo. Parang ayaw nyo. So, para to make it more organized at saka mabilis. So, Ma'am Leni and I will stay here. Tapos you can come by groups. Pipila kayo ron, tatawagin na lang natin. Di ba? Uunahin lang natin sa pila si Gas Lagman, saka si Sunny Aguiling, kasi sila pinaka-senior dito. No, also because I coerce Gas na dumaan muna siya rito bago sila pumunta ni Sunny dun sa kanilang appointment. So, sila yung una sa pila and then the rest, pipila na ulit. Of course, ang pinakauna sa lahat, may I invite my family members muna. Ma'am, pwede muna magpakuha kami ng family picture sa inyo. Where's Jenny at saka ma'am yung dalawang apo ko nandito rin. And Pao, Jenny and Pao. Meron ba tayong camera doon? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yan, hindi pa. Hindi pa. Pagkatapos nung, I'll just have a few words and then, ma'am. Okay. So kung gusto niyo rin magpa-family picture kay ma'am, sumulat din kayo ng libro. Okay, let me just close the formal part of this program by reading to you a part of the book actually. I'd like to read yung chapter 7, maiksi lang naman no? So, I'd like to read most of it. The title of the chapter is The Day After. The Day After. It was a sad day, not just for Leni supporters, but for our nation. Although a good majority was celebrating at that time, the harsh reality was this: the nation is heading for more hard times. From our side, the reaction in quick succession was disbelief, denial, and defiance. And for many, it would take time for this to sink in, that we lost the battle and we lost it badly. By 8:41 a.m., I posted this, 8:41 a.m. of May 10, I posted this on my Facebook page. The title of the post, It's Over. No, we did not lose. It is the Filipino people who lost, even though they think they won. When the illusion crumbles, they will realize sooner rather than later that their vote will usher in a regime of darkness and not the renaissance of a golden age that they were made to believe. We need time to reflect what we did wrong, not just during the campaign, but for the last 3.5 decades. But not today. Today, we grieve, not for ourselves, but for a nation that has lost its soul. Still, I have no regrets in fighting the good fight. The last 6 years have made me cynical. It brought out the worst in us as a people. I have almost given up on our country. And I would often say, Ninoy was wrong. The Filipino is not worth dying for. But then came VP Leni. She gave me reason to hope again. She drew out the innate goodness in every Filipino that we have somehow forgotten exist within us. She inspired the youth to be passionately involved in shaping their own future. She accepted the challenge, she gave it her all, and energized all of us to do the same. I will remember this season in my life with fondness. The mammoth rallies, the new friendships forged, and the shared aspirations of a people yearning for a better country. I will continue to wear my pink outfits proudly. Not because I bought a lot of them, actually it's a lot. But as a reminder of what it represents. Hope. Nahihirapan ako, wala yung salamin ko. To my grandsons, Siki, Tyler, they were here a few minutes ago, Luca and Kai, please know that your lolo fought for your future. I guess soon it will be your turn to fight for your own future. Ito po si Enteng signing off for now. Now, some of my friends, the chapter continues. Some of my friends and followers were disappointed, even resentful, that I gave up so easily. After all, there were still some reports of electoral fraud that might yet invalidate the unofficial count. But here was my take on it, on all of this. Yes, there were many supporters and volunteers who were still hoping that there was massive fraud and that we actually won. But I've been monitoring the supposed or the reported incidents of fraud and other conspiracy theories moving around in social media, and many of them could be explained. Also, I was part of the Tech for Leni chat group. I was also in touch with the NAMFREL tech team. There simply was no smoking gun evidence that pointed to large-scale and systematic fraud similar to the 1986 snap election. Wala talaga. There might have been massive vote buying, disenfranchisement, and other irregularities, more than the usual in a presidential election, but I don't think it was in a scale that could alter the results. The results, BBM at 58, VP Leni at 29, reflected what the surveys from major pollsters, Pulse, SWS, Okta, Lilo, DCRH, and even our own internal survey have been saying. BBM was spot on. Ours even had a surge of about 5 points. The effect, perhaps, of our last-minute intensive house-to-house efforts. Sadly, too little, too late. The false narratives that they had planted in the last decade had taken roots, and it was just impossible to demolish them within the 8-month campaign period. Google Trends was simply trash. Bottom line is, it is what it is. The sooner we accept it, the sooner we are able to overcome our grief and plan what to do next. And then I outlined the numbers in my social media accounts, and I end with this paragraph. These are the platforms I will use to continue the fight in my chosen battlefield, the fight against fake news and misinformation. Because now that they have the vast resources of government at their disposal, I'm sure that they will continue with even more impunity to rewrite history. Tuloy ang laban. So may I now invite back Ma'am Leni for our photo ops. Ay, hindi pa pala. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. Nalito ako. Masyado akong na-touch dun sa sinulat ko. Okay. Now, meron... Ma'am, meron tayong special performers for today. Gustong bumawi dahil hindi sila masyado nakasali dun sa mga rally nyo. So please, let us welcome Jim and Buboy together with Leah and the Mass Appeal.
Oh, while they're preparing the mics, I would like to say something like, Enteng, on behalf of all of us here, the performers who tried to perform as much as possible but could not, and Ma'am Leni, tama ka eh, kailangan talaga ituloy natin yung laban. Hindi excuse yung matanda tayo para tumigil. Alam mo, yun rin ang naging feeling namin for a while eh. Parang ayoko na. Tigilan na, iwan na natin sa mga kabataan yan. Eh ngayon, nakikita ko, wala namang kabataan dito. Paano natin ililipat sa kanila yung gusto nating ipaglaban? Okay. So, I'm very happy that we're here today so we can pass it on to the younger people, sana, no? 50 years ago, we just commemorated, I did not say celebrate, we just commemorated martial law. That was 50 years ago. And it took 15 years, 16 years for us to throw them out. And we thought that was it. Enteng said about these elections 10 years ago, the disinformation was already starting. I'm sorry, Enteng. 50 years ago, it started. If you will remember during martial law, Bagong Lipunan, New Society, it was all a lie. All the things that they did, it was to cover up something. So the fight was there. It's still the same fight. And then 35 years after EDSA, it continued. We thought it was done. They were still there. And the disinformation still exists. And now, after May 10, after your letter, it's still there. And that's why sometimes you feel parang, ayoko na. But I'm happy and I'm very proud that beside me is a writer of this song that still has the same meaning that can go on and on for the next fight. Hopefully in 6 years, if not, we'll wait another 6 years. Actually, it's not for us eh, like you said, di ba? It's for the country and for our mga apo, di ba? I mean, they can change the name of the country, but it's our country, whatever it is. So, thank you very much. Congratulations, Enteng and Ma'am Leni.
We may not sound like the record. This is the first time we're actually going to sing it together.
Oh, we've done it so many times before.
Okay.
I know all your parts.
Can we have the music?
It's okay.
Starting na para mas dramatic kasi na-touch ako doon sa sinabi
And
ko.
Mass Appeal is with us. Biro mo niyan, may
Ay,
Mass
Buboy,
Appeal. May appeal
I
na
know.
kayo.
Thank you so much.
First
Okay.
time I heard you talk that way, galing ah.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I don't.
When was 1986?
What do you mean?
We
when was-
recorded it, diba? March. We recorded this in March of 1986.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
Yes, we did. A
See, now you're reminding him again. He forgot.
Well, just so he remembers.
At saka yung email, naalala mo lang pero hindi yung matandaan. Di na ko papayag na mawala ka muli. Di na ko papayag na muling mabawi.
Ating kalayaan kay tagal na nating bithi. Di na papayagang mabawi muli. Pagkakapit-bisig, libo-libong tao, kay sarap pala maging Pilipino. Sama-sama, iisa ang adhikain. kailanman di na maalitin. Handog ng Pilipino sa mundo, mapayapa para ang pagbabago. Katotohanan, kalayaan, katarungan ay kayang magkapit na walang lahas. Basta't magkaisa tayong lahat. Ka at ako. Basta nang nagaganap sa ating bayan, magkasama ng mahirap at mayaman, kapit bisig, madre, pare at sundalo. Naging langit itong bahagi ng mundo. Huwag muling payagan, umira lang dilim. Tinig ng bawat tao'y bigyan ng pansin. Magkakapatid lahat sa Panginoon, ito'y lagi nating tatandaan. Handog ng Pilipino sa mundo, mapayapa para ang pagbabago. Katotohanan, kalayaan, katarungan ay kayang magkapit na walang lahas. Basta't magkaisa tayong lahat. Handog ng Pilipino sa mundo, mapayapa para ang pagbabago. Katotohanan, kalayaan, katarungan ay kayang magkapit na walang lahas. Basta't magkaisa tayong lahat. Handog ng Pilipino sa mundo, mapayapa para ang pagbabago. Katotohanan, kalayaan, katarungan ay kayang magkapit na walang lahas. Basta't magkaisa tayong lahat. Handog ng Pilipino sa mundo, mapayapa para ang pagbabago.
Tuloy po ang laban. And now,
And of course,
eto na ngayon mga kaibigan, next number, yung pinakamahirap daw kantahin ni Ma'am Leni kasi yung lyrics ang gulo-gulo. Pero kayang-kaya nila gawin po. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
maraming salamat. No, you're supposed to join us. You're
You
supposed
cannot
to join
escape.
us.
You cannot escape.
You cannot escape.
We're doing this for Enteng and for Ma'am Leni.
Yes.
You cannot escape. I have the lyrics. I
ang hirap
printed
ng
it for
lyrics
you.
yan, dikit-dikit eh.
Kung hindi kayo
Talagang
nakakahinga,
wordy
ako
to,
rin.
pero magandang kanta.
Yes.
Sobra.
Uy, dito na kayo sa tabi nila. Hindi na tayo star dyan.
Boys, girls tayo din. Oh, boys and girls.
Yung lyrics.
No, I just want to say on behalf of those who sang, the artists on the streets, you know, and I had to be a tomboy because they said, huwag kang magpakilala sa mga tao. Ano character ko? Tomboy. Okay, talagang hindi ako nakilala. So talagang, it's my first time to do that.
No, well,
Yeah.
be ready to do
For
more.
Leni and for the country, of course. What's that? Shopee!
Nawala na tayo sa napuli.
Ano yun?
magpapasilbi, hanggat may kabutihan, hanggat may pag-ibig, liwanag ang mananaig. At hindi ko may papangako ang kulay rosas na mundo para sa'yo, at hindi ko may ilawan ang lahat ng anino, pero sisikapin ko at hindi ako mapapahinga hanggat hindi mo pa magawang muli ipagmalaki na ika'y isa. Liwanag ang mananaig. At hindi ko may papangako ang kulay rosas na mundo para sa'yo, at hindi ko may ilawan ang lahat ng anino, pero sisikapin ko at hindi ako magpapahinga hanggang hindi mo pa magawang muli ipagmalaki na ika'y isa. Pilipinong may puso, sagutin ang tugon. Pilipinong may tapang na muling bumangon. Pilipinong buo ang panindigan, alam kong mabuti at mapagmahal. Pilipino, Pilipino, Pilipino.
Mabuhay ang mga rosas!
Ang Presidente! Vice Presidente!
Kiko Pangilinan!
Isa pa! Ang Presidente!
Leni Robredo!
Vice Presidente!
Kiko Pangilinan!
2028!
Yes! Sa gobyernong
Sinabi ko
tapat,
na, ma'am, kasi gusto
angat
nila
buhay
daw.
lahat.
Pero okay, no pressure, ma'am. No pressure.